short stream. So I've been playing in this play-in yesterday. Today we saw the placement matches, but we're probably not going to discuss them. Unfortunately, I finished 79th here, and only 69 people qualified. So I finished in a share from 64 to 83, but based on my bad tie breaks, I finished in the 79th. So as you can see, I started pretty well. I had +2 out of 3 games. Then I played Lazavik and I was completely winning, and this game changed everything for me because I failed to win a simple winning position because, you know, I panicked in the time trouble. The next game I got killed by Wesley So, who qualified to Division 1, right? Wesley So is like here, ended up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 4. So instead of going +3, I lost to Wesley. I went +1. Then I couldn't beat this guy, and I lost to this guy. It's a pretty weird game. I felt kind of weird, so I reported this guy, but you know, maybe it's nothing to report. But in order to play for a win, I picked my old Breyer line, and the guy just played perfectly and killed me, which is kind of weird. Yeah, because even Wesley had problems beating me, but this guy like had 0 problems, and I feel like I was playing an engine. All right, and then I missed my winning chances in this game, and I was probably lost against this guy, but I won. So I ended up with +1, but it was not enough to qualify. It's kind of interesting that in the previous years, like 2-3 years ago, when the rapid tournaments first started, 50% was enough to qualify into, you know, to Division 3. And, you know, suddenly +1 is no longer enough, you know, because we had a lot of people. Had a lot of grandmasters, a lot of people ended the tournaments. Trigobov lost a lot of games. So a lot of people just left and haven't played, yeah. So you can see a lot of zeros. And it also partly explains why your tie breaks can be so bad, because people just leave the event. Okay. This guy, for example, drew me, right? He drew me, and then he lost 2 last games. Niemann Hans ended with 4 points. Some strong grandmasters like ended with less amount of points. But my five points was not enough. I mean, if I had better tie breaks, I might have gotten into the placement matches here, yeah. But because of my bad tie breaks, I didn't get there so far. Alright, so this was a tournament situation. Let's go round by round. So the first round was this game. So I'm playing Dutch, and we're playing this line. Yeah, I feel like black is fine here. The reason I play e5 instead of b6, because if you play b6, then he has this. And then he keeps the bishop pair, which I think advantage white. So you have to play knight e4. Really go after this bishop. And white plays like this. This is probably equal, but it's just completely equal. Yeah, black has 0 chances of winning this game. So a5 kind of keeps it complicated because I don't trade everything. So g3, fighting move. And there are 2 ways to play this. I think this is fair. because now the position goes into the lines sort of Queen's Indian. And the only problem is this knight. Yeah, if this knight is developed somewhere, then black has absolute equality. Yes, I felt that, you know, if white wanted to play for a win, he should have played like this. But if he wants to keep pair of bishops after a4, I think black is okay, because this pawn disconnects these guys. Did you see Naka made a YouTube video about your game was a fairly disrespectful title? No, but let's go check it out. Learn the London with Naka. What is the name of the video? Why 50% of players could be cheating? 3 months ago. Kramnik triggered by Title Tuesday. I don't know. Which YouTube video you're talking about? Because I have no idea. Disrespect. Okay, I don't know. Click the videos. Icara's ears checked for cheating devices. Don't see anything. Three weeks ago. Alright, I don't know, I don't really care. Anyway, I'm going through this game. He posted it today. This game. I don't even see it. Alright, you know, send me the link once you see it, and you know, because I'm not gonna watch his games. Right. Alright, so alright, so I think this was a little bit better for white if he gets to keep his pair of bishops, but with this pawn here, I think black is fairly okay. Alright, so he plays rook c1. It's very solid chess, and I play knight e4. I feel like, you know, I need to get this knight to d7, playing d6, knight d7, knight f6. But if I play d6 first, then I fall for this sometimes. Okay, and then d5 and knight gets to e6. So I didn't like that. The computer thinks black is fine here, I agree, but yeah, but d5 first could be unpleasant, because if you play with this, then knight g5, and as you can see, white is better, because this knight gets here, and then he can get to this pawn. And you really don't want to play like this, because king is weak. White can sometimes go for the pawn breaks. This bishop is dead. So yeah, so knight e4 is standard move. You trade this knight, open the queen, and open the bishop. And of course you want the bishop. So queen c2, yeah, if he takes, bishop takes, and then he cannot close this bishop by d5, because this bishop is still here. So that was one of the ideas, because I felt that white was ready to play d5 and close my bishop. The question is, could he play d5 here? Probably he can. Probably he can, but then you have to calculate the consequences of this. And if knight h4, you have knight e4, obviously. So after all these trades, the knight gets very nice square on c5, thanks to this pawn. Or you can play d6, and then put the knight on c5, and the bishop goes back to c8. Yeah, because I think that this is should be okay for black, if you allow this. And if you play f4, then yeah, you have to stop e4 now, yeah? Because if you don't stop e4, then white is probably better. Yeah, I'm trying to think why queen e8 and not queen e7. What's the difference? And the difference, you have queen b5. And check. Kind of important check. Black is okay. Yeah. Because if you play queen to f7, it can potentially get to here. Yeah, so this was pretty interesting for white, but after 94. Yeah, I just went for this, but 92 is also playable, of course. Yeah, but then again, d5 is coming, and if you take, he takes with the rook. And I felt that his queen on c3 is not... And you win a tempo by attacking the queen. Queen e7, and I think black is fine. Yeah, because now you just take, play d6, knight e7, and it's pretty much equal. Yeah, I thought that he should take here, try and play for this file, because he plays this very strange move. And after f4, black is better. Yeah, white plays series of very passive moves, and black is better. Fantastic Dutch defense position. Queen f6, logical. You can also double your rooks here. But of course, black is gonna push the pawns here. This f4 is very important because, again, it disconnects these two pawns. Okay. Hey, Mr. Dillman, how are you? I'm doing the recap of yesterday's play-in. I started really well, but it ended in disaster, and I didn't qualify today's for today's placement matches because I shared with +1. I shared from 64th to 80 something, and only 69 people qualify. Because a lot of people, after losing games, they just withdraw from the tournament and they screw up your tie breaks. This play-in was only for GMs only. There were no FMs. Unless some FMs that qualified from the qualifier, yeah. Alright, so, what did he play here? Rook f1, protecting. Yeah, I should have played rook e8 immediately because, you know, you're gonna play e5 anyway. g5. Now he trades the bishop. I think it's decent, very human move. And of course, you know, I want to get the center. If he takes knight, obviously it's beautiful, yeah. So he plays this. And now I kind of rushed. I played, no, this is okay. But I played this. Yeah, I should have played king g7 first, because after this trade, these double pawns, I mean, they're okay. But he had a chance to play king h3 here and put the king on g4. And he's absolutely safe, yeah. Thank God he played this for me, and after e4, this pawn structure is very good for black because you have potential weakness. And after e4, white rooks are very, very passive. So this is advantage black, but he managed to really screw this up. And as now you can see, black is winning. The reason black is winning is because this rook is very passive, and black has the possibility again of playing a4 and hitting this guy. But I was down to 1 minute and I was getting very nervous. So I was trying to play very safe chess. He plays a4, tries to block this, and it's still winning. But it's not so simple. Because if I play like this immediately, white can try to, counterattack here. So you have to combine. I thought I played well here for a certain time. The additional idea is that king can walk to these pawns, so he has to stop the king also. Now his rook is much more passive here than on g2. This was okay. But now, of course, I should have played g4. And the whole point is, even if he gives a check, he needs to protect this guy, because if he plays like this, the threat is check and rook e1, and this pawn is gone. Okay, it's a famous rook endgame trick, and black is winning. Yes, and if he protects it, then his pieces are very passive. Okay, then king walks and you win the game. I actually wanted to play this, but then, again, for some reason I got very, very, very insecure when I get less than 1 minute on the clock. So I started to play safe. Again, g4, yeah. And now he's okay, because he plays h3, there is no more g4. I have to switch to this. And he managed to put the rook on d3. So playing king e5 gave him important time to put the rook here and the second rook on c3. And this means I have 0 advantage, okay? So this is a draw. And that's how we ended up in a draw. So I had a winning game, but it ended up in a draw. But this was the first game of the tournament. Why didn't I stream my games? Because when you stream, you lose your concentration. Even youngsters, they have problems streaming and focusing on the tournament, and I wanted to focus on this event, okay? I mean, if you saw Naka, he blundered whole night against Martinez because he was streaming, okay? So this was game number 1. Then I play game number 2. I felt this was pretty fun game. So this guy plays Dutch against me. And I played the line that some people played against me, and I thought it was pretty good. T5, stone wall, C4, and I feel like white is a little bit better in these stone wall positions. Yeah, the only thing is I wasn't sure where to put the bishop. Apparently bishop is better on e2, because in some lines you can take and the bishop is not hanging, yeah. Because after bishop d3, if you take here, it's always with the piece attack. But okay, 94, take. Yeah, this was a little bit, this was okay actually, but this was bad. Yeah, I helped him develop the piece instead of just playing something like this. Yeah. If he takes 96, that's probably how black should play. Knight f7. You go back. Well, this is a little bit better for white. Because this bishop is still better, and this bishop probably will go to e8. But there are some problems with protecting the queenside pawns, yeah, or b8. Again, if bishop e8, then you can consider taking this pawn, because you have the c file. So maybe black should play, but if you play g6, then the bishop doesn't come out at all. So the only thing I can think of is like g5, but if you play g5, then this king is getting a little bit open, and the idea is if g4, then knight goes to e1, d3. And f3 is not the only square where the knight can get to e5, yeah. Then the knight gets here, f3, and still advantage white. So it's very safe advantage for white, but I managed to mess it up. I played knight f3, knight d6. Again, he's following this idea. c5 and queen c3. And I felt that I have small advantage again because I got the same thinking, right? If this knight ever leaves to open the bishop, then this knight goes here. And I control e5 break. And just want to play a4, b4, b5 and expand here. So he plays this. And I went the wrong direction here. I went knight e1, same idea of knight d3. But knight d2 was better because you still play f4, but knight here is better placed than on e1. I really misjudged this. Yeah, I thought I'm gonna grab this pawn, but after e4, this knight is now dead. And my bishop is in the open. Okay. And he's threatening to catch my bishop, so I have to play this. Yeah, I felt knight h6. Yeah, it's actually okay, but... Yeah, but I thought knight f5 and put the knight on h4, bishop here. Would give black better portions. Yeah, and also bishop d7, because maybe black can get h5, g4, knight on g5 with the idea of knight f3. Okay. Yeah, maybe this was interesting. Yes, you have to play this. And black can take. But it's extra pawn, yeah. So it's advantage. I'm not sure why knight h6 is equal. It's kind of weird. The point is, if you play like this, then your king is weak, yeah? But if you take, then after this check, your king g1, queen f7. And big problems for white. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, see, this knight on e1 is terrible. Terrible. Yeah, but luckily for me, he played this, and he played g4. And of course, this knight on e1 gets to a beautiful square on f4. Knight f7 is good. Here, I played b4. He plays queen f6. Yeah, I feel like he should just go h5 and open the file and start attacking. Queen f6 was interesting, and this was kind of weird. Yeah, I wanted to run my king here to safety, but it doesn't happen like that. Yeah, you can just play b5, I guess. The whole point, if he takes, you go after this guy. Yeah, but I got a little bit scared and I played like this. The idea is if he takes on h3, then you play king h2, and this king is like sort of safe, unless black remaneuvers the knight to g4, which I felt he didn't have time for, because rook is already gone to the 7th. So, queen g7, knight h4, so he needs bishop here and then knight here, yeah? I like bishop g4, and just this, because if you take, check, you don't take this pawn, and queen protects everything. So white is very, very safe. And white breaks through here, yeah. Okay, so the guy plays queen h6, I played h4, but he gives me this check, and again, I was very confused. I was worried that if I play like this, potentially he can sack the exchange. Like queen g7. And I'll have to go back here. And for some reason I was a little bit scared of that. But if he takes and plays e3, you can just take and king f2, and it's nothing. Yeah, so that's what I should have done. I panicked and I took the knight, and I felt like I can run with my king here. But that's not really the case. Yeah, he can play like this, and rook f4, and the idea is that e3, and black is actually winning. Because these rooks are bad, pawns are very strong, I can't take with the queen, I can't take with the pawn, and black rooks get here, bishop gets active, queen infiltrates, and black is almost winning position. Okay, so this was really bad idea on my part. I also opened his bishop. Yeah, this was kind of weird. Yeah, so yeah, he has to play this. Otherwise, I just play rook h1 and I get extra pawn and everything is free. So he has to play this. The idea was if I take with this pawn, then this pawn is hanging, and if rook f1, bishop h3, he recaptures the exchange and black is better. So I have to take e3 and now queen g6. Yeah, I felt that queen e6 was pretty dangerous, but... Oh, I didn't see this move. Oh, queen e4, rook e1, trades the rooks. If he takes with the pawn, check. And if queen h3, you just grab this guy. And king runs to c3. Ah, okay. So that's why he plays queen g6 here. And white wants to play king f2, so he has to play this. Bishop g4. And apparently rook e1 is just winning. But, you know, I just wanted to have my king safe. Minimal advantage was extra pawn, but this is weak pawn, but it's protected. But it's minimal advantage, so he plays like this, b5. And this was a mistake, yeah, because he got my queen really active. And this endgame is completely winning because of e4. And then f5 and d5, of course. Yeah, d5 is coming. And yeah, he played like this, and after king f5, he lost this pawn. But if he plays with the king, then it's check and d5. And I'm still in the quadrants, and also the queen is coming. Okay. Yeah, so we ended up this position. He resigned. So this was game round 2. Do you consider myself top 5 American players of all time? Okay, maybe top 10. Top 10 for sure. Top 5 definitely a good chance because, you know, I consider anybody who played the World Chess Championship match, you know, as a top player of all time. Okay. And to date, there have been only a few people from the Americas who played the World Chess Championship match. Yeah. I'm not gonna count the ancients like, you know, Paul Morphy. I'm gonna start with the modern times. In modern times, the candidates is not good enough. So in the modern times, only Bobby Fischer, then me, and then Fabiano. Okay, so there are only 3 people who've been playing match for the World Chess Championship title. All right, so. And I rate the World Chess Championship matches as higher than any other criteria. Other people disagree, other people call ratings, and yet other people, you know, care about some other things. But to me, you know, the World Chess Championship cycle is the most important criteria. And based on that criteria, I should be top 3 from the US of all time. All right, so that was game number 2. And then I had this miniature London system. This was round 3. It started like this in 92. This is very old line. Usually it's a transposition. Yeah. Usually white now plays either bishop d3, but sometimes bishop b5 is also a move. And bishop d3 back. Yeah, because I like this bishop. The whole point is to prevent black from playing e5. Yeah. So he plays knight f5, Obviously, one of the things to do is you can always take here, take here, take here, and black has this pawn chain, which is pretty bad. It's not so easy to use because he has knight, bishop, and easy game, and I don't have access to attacking this pawn. And if I ever play c4, just trades, and this pawn structure is okay for black. So this is minimal advantage for white. Yeah, you can play bishop e5 here, for sure. Or you can just take and play this. And I felt this is pretty normal. And this was bad. Yeah, black follows the same idea. He wants to play knight d6, bishop here, put the knight e4 and f6, but he has no time. Because I played this first. And then this. And he can no longer get rid of this knight. While I can get rid of his knight and also preparing the attack, okay? So he plays this, I play queen h5, because I already seen idea like this, and now he has to be very careful. And here I see, if you see guys, I have 7 minutes, but now the next move is 3 minutes. I spent 4 minutes here calculating, and I play first line, knight g4. And he blunders immediately. The reason it took me so long is because I did not see this idea. The threat is rook g7, but I didn't know what to do after this. It only hit me later that I can still play this. And then check and castles. And the threat is rook g1, okay? So he has to take, check, rook g1, and give up the queen. And this is extremely complicated position, but as you can see, only white plays for a win because, again, weak king, knight and queen are very, very strong, especially against naked king. And black has to play very precisely to survive this, which is not easy at all, okay? The difficult thing was to find this move, okay? I didn't see this move, but eventually I came to this move. Yeah, because if you play knight e4, this is black is better, yeah? Yeah, you can play this here, but it's a little bit different. Because he wants to take the knight and protect against the check. So timing is everything. Luckily for me, the guy just ignored this and he played this. And it just mate. Yeah. So that was very helpful from him. But again, this g4 idea is standard, and g5, and that's how, and with the rook on g1, hitting the king, that's how you protect this guy. If f6, you take, and if he takes, then you can play just f4, something maybe even. Yeah. Yeah, apparently the computer plays even stronger. He plays this first, because you're threatening the pawn. And then you take here, threatening to capture this. And you see how black pawn structure is completely ruined, yeah? Bishop here, again, queen must be very active, and then eventually you create a strong attack. It's actually only 0.48 if black plays correctly, but the position is so much easier to play for white. Active knight, potential attack, safe king here. All right. Okay, so now we come to the critical game of the tournament for me, after which everything was ruined. And this is the 4th round game versus Lazarevic. Interestingly enough, today Lazarevic beat Naka 2-0 and knocked him out of the Division 1. And then Lazarevic made 4 draws with Giri and knocked him out in the Armageddon by making a draw, yeah? And I played this guy, and let's see what happens, yeah? I played Dutch. So we play, standard position, queen c2. Okay. Yeah, normally I play a5 here, but I wasn't sure about e4 here, and I feel like white is better. Because if I take, knight a6, after queen h4, I feel like white is better here. okay? Because I have to trade this bishop, and if I trade this bishop, my king is open, I have weaknesses, white is better for sure. So I'm forced to play knight a6, and the idea is if e4, then you can play this first. Or knight e4, knight b4. If he attacks a knight, you hit this guy. Then go back and this pawn is hanging. And if he plays queen e2, it's different because now you can take bishop f5 and knight gets very active here. And a lot of moves are good for black. Hitting this, hitting rook. So you see it's a big difference, right? The knight gets tempos. So he plays rook b1. And yeah, the computer plays knight b4, but I wasn't sure why this move was bad. Yeah, see, the thing is, Lazarevic is very strong in his... Lazarevic is very strong in the openings he plays. He studies them deeply. He knows the middles game, end games. He's very hard to beat, this guy. So Dutch is something I'm pretty sure he did not study that much. He obviously studied it, but not the same level as his usual openings. If he trained with Kramnik, then he would obviously play this move and white is better, okay? Because that's the whole point of rook b1. I think black is still playable here. You can take, or knight c7, yeah. And then just make some sort of a fortress here. Yeah. But it is better for white, because if he plays like this, yeah, queen e8. You know, with each trade, black is closer to making a draw. Apart from this slight weakness, everything else is protected. Okay. The only way for white to make a reasonable progress is by trying to get either e4 or get somehow for me to play this, or c5, yeah. And it's not so easy. So again, 0.5 is it means black is okay. Playable game, yeah. It's better for white, but it's playable for black. But he surprised me, he plays this. This is definitely not the usual move. It is playable, but now this is famous idea. That's how you get this knight from the side of the board to the center. And I felt that I'm fine here. Yeah, the trick was if you play knight e6, which is also another standard idea, but after bishop h6, you can't really play f4. And if you take and try to play f4, then d5, knight g5, and black just better, yeah. Yeah, I was briefly toying with this to play rook f6 here. He just goes back. The knight is misplaced, okay? This knight is not good. You need e5. So I was debating, and then I realized, you know, my knight on e4 is... That's where I was going. Knights in the center are best, yeah? And you also get to play e5. So, he plays bishop h6, very reasonable. Tries to eliminate my defender. I take. King on the queen on the side of the board doesn't do much. Queen c7, first line, preparing e5. And he plays this. Yeah. I wasn't sure. Maybe I thought he was going for this. But apparently this is fine for black. Because double pawns versus my double pawns, but yeah, it's fine for black, yeah, because he doesn't get to this square. I challenge him for the square very soon. So yeah, so this was possible. Yeah. For some reason I only calculated this, and after 94 I felt like white is better, and I'm correct, yeah, because I'm behind in development. His pieces are already out, and my king is very open. I didn't like that. Yeah, so I played a5 first, because I don't I want him to show what he wants, yeah? He hasn't pushed any pawns. My knight is strong. If he trades the knight, okay, it's just a trade, yeah? So he plays this, prevents e5. Yeah, I think rook e8. e5 with the tempo is coming. And then he plays this. Yes, and I thought about it. Normally you can also take here and play bishop d7, but after knight d4, white is a little bit better, yeah? Because again, king is pretty naked. Yeah, so I went for this line. I thought that... it's incorrect. So I actually should have been very pawn-grabbing guy, yeah? Played like this. Take the pawn. Apparently this was a little bit better. Yes, because there are not many pieces and king is relatively safe, you can do that. And also you're threatening queen d5. Yeah, and if he has to give up the bishop, then white doesn't really have an attack, because your bishop covers all these weak squares. You just have to be very, very careful and very fast, creating counterattack. Okay. Yeah, so, okay, I didn't see that. I played e5 and I thought I'm a little bit worse, but it's playable. But he finds this move. I find this move. And I thought, little advantage to white, but again, standard position for the Dutch. Only one weak pawn. You shouldn't lose game because of one weak pawn here. In addition, again, you have counter chances. Every trade brings black closer to equal draw position. And he should have played knight b3 here. Yes, I thought he was gonna play this. Then I'm gonna probably play this and queen b6 and try to attack these double pawns. Yeah, and I felt that this should be very close to equal. Instead, he surprised me and he plays this move. I was shocked with this move. Queen b6, counter, yeah. Because he has three targets, this, this, and this. If he plays e3, that weakens this square. He plays rook d2, reasonable. a4. I mean, it's playable. The reason I play a4 is I wanted to disconnect these guys so I can counterattack this pawn. Like if he plays knight c3, then I can play this. Apparently what I missed was that he has this idea. Okay, I think it's still very close to equal. Because all these trades are just trades, and he's not getting the bishop endgame with the king in the center. Yeah, he's getting still the middle game, and black has some, you know, tricks of my own. Yeah, but he plays this, and I think h4 was very interesting. Yeah, he's trying to open up my king. I agreed with this idea. I thought it was very dangerous. Bishop f7, h5. Yeah, and I panicked and I got rid of this queen. I thought this queen was just not good. Actually, the computer agrees with me. I mean, look at the queen on f4 near your king and look at the queen on a3, right? Which queen you would prefer? I would prefer the queen on a3 any day. So take. Yeah, and I expected rook d1 here, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I expected. Take, take. Queen c5, yeah. Queen a4 and f4, yeah. The idea of queen c5 is that if you play f4 here, you have to watch for this sudden check. And suddenly your pieces are terrible and white pieces are coming. If the knight ever arrives anywhere close here and queen like this, black is dead, okay? So you can't allow that. All right, so yeah, but he played the e3 and I was shocked. Yeah, I should have played queen c5 first. And then less than a minute on the clock, he has more time on the clock and he has safer position. Yes, f4 was also a possibility, but for some reason I got the idea that maybe I can play knight e4 and try to get his bishop, but this is a very bad move, yeah? Very bad move. Original idea was to play f4, and now knight d4 and then c5. If you could get c5 in, keep this knight here, black is fine, because double pawns, weak pawns, black is fine. Yeah. This was a very bad move. But he played even this, and then suddenly he took. And now I realized I'm better because my queen is coming to the king side and potentially I have a mating attack. So the guy, he started thinking, see, he took 1 minute to play this move. I'm down to 20 seconds, but as you can see, black is now getting better. Yeah, f4 with the idea of king h8, rook g8, just going for the king is good, but I felt like, with this move, I guarantee myself a better endgame because he has to trade the queens. Because if the knight ever comes here, it's just mate, okay? So he went for this, but after this, he is pawned down. And of course, I should have played e3, but I played this. e3. So I'm completely winning, have extra pawn, better bishop, better knight, better everything, but I'm down to 20 seconds. And that's where the blitz starts, yeah? King g7, the pawn on b3 is not going anywhere. Grab the pawn, knight back. 2 extra pawns, okay? 2 extra pawns, my god. King f6, correct. Rook a8, rook belongs on the open files. I got my brains in order. Rook a3, knight has no moves. He plays this. I play this, is correct. Check. And this idiot doesn't see that this is pinned. So after this move, white must resign, yeah, because he loses the whole knight. Or knight b1. Okay? I've been playing seconds on the clock for the last like 20 moves. And finally I make a mistake, yeah. After knight e4, I win the game, Lazavic loses, and it's very unlikely that Lazavic qualifies for the Division 1. Okay. Watching this was a very hard game. Dutch is very unusual pawn structure, okay? I played pretty well actually. And he was on the defensive, okay? I didn't give him easy targets. He didn't have an easy game. Yeah, if I saw knight e4, I win the game, I probably qualify to some division. I would be +3, okay? And I wouldn't torture myself with the thoughts like how I missed this win for the rest of the fucking tournament. Because after I missed the win in this game, I was blaming myself the whole tournament I couldn't play, okay? That is the terrible thing. I thought, okay, why not take this? And I blundered king d4, but okay. I can still move. I play knight d6. I still have big advantage. Check, king e7. 2 extra pawns, check. Yeah, great pieces, active rook. He plays rook f3. And guess what? I played this and I blundered check and rook a3 and white is better. Okay? I just blundered in one move. If I play anything, if I play like this, I win the game. I have actually 30 seconds on the clock. I played this in 1 second and I completely blundered knight d5. And now white is better. Alright? And I was so pissed off because I played this game, I played beautifully. Yeah, just rook a5, 2 extra pawns. Black is completely winning. Completely winning. White has 0 chances to make a draw here. I was so mad when I blundered this. And then my tournament is finished after this. because I couldn't focus again. All right. So I made this draw, and okay, it was a draw. We played on, and it's a draw. Okay. I mean, objectively, draw is okay. If you give me this draw somewhere in this position, I would be happy with the draw. But when I had the winning position here, you know, this is a big hit. Yeah. Yeah, so this really messed up my mind. And just another thing, I played black against Lazavic here. Okay. And then I played black against Wesley So. So I play against two strongest players in Rapid Championship format with black. I was very upset. So Wesley got very lucky because he got this game immediately after my last draw versus Lazavic. Okay. Anyway, I planned to play this line, but I didn't check it. There were so many things to check, and I was very sick. I got sick again a few days ago. I'm still sick. But yeah, there were so many lines. I was like trying to check all my lines in different openings, and I forgot this line. Okay. So, but I played well. I remember that Queen e7, it was good. It's the main line. He plays b4, very, very sharp. The idea of b4 is to get rid of this knight, take this pawn and play bishop a3 and hit the queen. Okay, so you can't allow that. a6, rook e1 because the pawn is hanging. Bishop g7, he plays a4, very expansionist. I take and he plays this move. Okay, and as you can see, black is fine. But here I thought for a long time, I thought for 2 minutes, and I played this move. I should have actually taken first and then played bishop g4. Yeah, chess is very hard because you don't know like the correct procedure, but the correct procedure was to play this. Because now you're threatening to take and take this pawn. If knight c3, you just take here. And if he takes with the pawn, black is better, okay? So, probably he would take with the knight here. But if he takes with the knight, then this whole setup here makes 0 sense, yeah? Absolutely 0 sense. And you just play normally and black is a little bit better. Yeah, so instead of bishop a3, he should have played d5, but then it becomes a King's Indian. And I don't think Wesley with white plays a lot of King's Indians, okay? So I played this, he plays b5, and black is again okay, yeah? I take, reasonable, knight a5, and yes, I was thinking bishop f1 is correct, but he plays bishop a2, he surprised me with this move. Because it's a very committing move, he basically disregards his queen side in order to play for the attack here. I was very happy when I found this move. This was the whole point of giving up the bishop, so we can create pressure here. Obviously, if he plays d5, then the bishop is dead. Yeah, so he has to do something. If he plays bishop b4, you just take and take the pawn. Or knight b3, because it's reverse spin, yeah? So he takes on e5, and I play really well. I take with the queen. If I take with the knight, he plays queen e2. And white is better, yeah? Because this knight is not good. He closes the bishop, he has no squares, white has pair of bishops, easy game. So I take with the queen, I prevent knight d2. And he finds probably the only move that confused me is this move. Double attack the knight and the pawn. And I was very, very confused here with 3 minutes on the clock. I was very confused because my original idea was to play knight b6. Okay. But there is a second idea, knight f6 and just d5. Then white is better because of bishop pair. Yeah, and then you just completely ignore this thing. Yeah, the computer says take, and queen b5. Yeah, but I'm not a fucking computer. You know, I see pair of bishops and I see this danger queen, and I think if he goes back and then he develops this knight somewhere to f5, I'm dead. Okay. Obviously, I don't see all these intricacies. Obviously, white is much worse. But in the Blitz game, it's very hard to see. But knight b6, I should have played. This was the move that I was actually calculating. Because if he takes, then you play knight c4. He has to go, you take this pawn, f4, and I wasn't sure with this position, but because this bishop is hanging, and most importantly, this knight is not in the play. Yeah, these guys, they completely block his entire chain of pieces. And this is advantage black, obviously. Because, again, this clusterfuck is not working for white. Yeah, that's what I should have done. Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't play this. Yeah, I was afraid of f4 here. And that's where you play queen h5, okay. The difference compared to the game is that this knight is not under attack, and I am threatening to take this guy. And if he takes, the knight's coming to c4, and he has no time for knight d2, okay. And this is advantage black. Yeah, and I played this move, and unfortunately this move is not good. I got the same idea, but just wrong placement for the knight. What I forgot is that he can just take this guy and this, and I'm dead. Okay, this is lost endgame. Double pawns, terrible. Bishop out, fantastic bishop. Knight's coming. Black is lost. Period. There's no ifs, no buts. Yeah, this was very sad for me. In 2 moves, I ruined my whole game. Here I can still play queen e7. I just wasn't sure about this position. I didn't like my position. But okay, you need to be the computer to see all these tactics. The thing is why this knight doesn't come out so easily. Apparently, c4, knight d2, and you have to be very forceful and start playing g5 and then rook g6. Okay, this g5 and rook g6 idea I didn't see. Suddenly black is attacking here, yeah. Yeah, because yeah, if you don't play g5, then you're just worse positionally, yeah. Because knight comes here and bishop is very bad. Yeah. So it was very unfortunate, you know, if I played knight b6 here, the move that I originally wanted to play, I'll probably do well in this game. But I played knight c5. Yeah, the effect from the previous game, you see what happened? In the previous game, I screwed up against Lazovic and I lost my cool, okay? I played this opening well, but because I couldn't fully concentrate because of the previous game, I lost the thread here. I didn't calculate properly, okay? So this emotional state of your mind, it affects your calculation, and this one mistake is the difference between advantage and lost game. And after this, he just destroyed me. Black is completely winning, okay? And I was super upset because, you know, not only, you know, I was +2 after 3 rounds. I had a winning position against Lazovic. I could have been +3. Instead, I get draw versus Lazovic and I lose to Wesley. And I'm down to +1. And, you know, +1 does not qualify, yeah? So I was super upset. And the next game, I play with white. And I play my London system and I play against this guy. And this guy Plays absolutely perfect chess. I should have probably I should have reported him, but I didn't. I'll show you why I should have reported him is because he's only 2500. But he played perfect game in London system, okay? So we play this line. White is better. Bishop g4, queen e1. Queen e1 avoids this and potential pin here. Also knight e5. So he plays e5. Take, 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 take. Gotta take. Queen e, and I play knight b3. Yeah. Yeah, I saw queen e3 obviously, but I was not sure what to do after this with the idea of d4. Okay. So I played knight b3. I figured, you know, I'll play the knight to d4, and he plays knight c4, quite reasonable. And I take. And many times I remember I analyzed the structure, and if you remember the Dink versus Nepo game from the World Chess Championship match, Nepo lost this position. Okay. Dink won a fantastic game. But this guy, he is playing better than Nepo. And he plays just perfectly. Rook c7. And suddenly, to my horror, I realized that rook is coming to e7. So, black is better, okay? This guy is playing better than Nepo in the World Chess Championship match, despite the fact that this guy is only 2500 elo. What I also missed is that my original idea was to take here, check, and knight e6. But then I blundered rook e7, okay? Very easy to blunder, and black is winning. So I thought, and then I decided to play this. And yeah, the only move to stay in the game was f4. But I played queen d6, and the guy just took this guy. And if I take on e7, he takes on b6, extra pawn. Black is winning. So I'm gambling, I'm playing this. He plays first line again, the only move. Yeah, the guy plays first line moves like most of the game. Again, the only chance I have. And I had to find, again, the only chance that I have is knight e6. Okay. Yeah, this was amazing to me. He plays the first line move again. And finally he succumbs and plays this, oh, actually second line move he plays. Yeah, it was bloody amazing. I take the bishop, and he finally takes this pawn. Yeah, because if he plays queen e5, he probably wins the game. But he takes this pawn, and after knight d5, it's a draw. Yeah, so I was shocked how strongly this guy played the whole game. I thought about reporting this guy, but I didn't report him at the end. But I probably should have, because no 2500 plays like this. But again, who cares, yeah? Nobody cares. Can't prove anything, and I don't know what was the situation with the cameras with this guy. The problem with the tournament is that there are so many people playing. You put in the rooms, and very often your opponent is in another room. You cannot see his coverage. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mike Saylor, for subscribing. Okay. Hey, General Director. Yeah, but this was an amazing game, and okay, he starts to give me some checks, hoping to bring my king to f2 so he can win the tempo by giving me the check and covering the square. I'm not giving him this, and I'm playing with the king on the light squares so he doesn't have the check on d4. So he repeats. Finally here I play king f4, no checks, But he finally gives me this check and plays check. And so it's a draw. I play 93, and my original was the idea to play f6, and then I forgot that he has this move. Okay, and it's equal again. So I just gave him a draw. So this 2500 guy was amazingly playing. I'll show you the percentage. 92%. 2500 player does not play 92%, okay? But this guy did. All right, so I was very upset, as you can imagine. I just did not win with white because this guy played perfect chess. In fact, I barely made it to a draw. You know, I'm 26, very strong 2600 player, and this guy is 2500. But okay. So, and I lost my whites. And then the next round I played this game. I tried to play for a win. And guess what happens? Let me show you first of all immediately this. I was very upset after the game and I reported my opponent because this is the first time I see somebody at 96% accuracy. Okay? 96% accuracy in this tournament is fucking unrealistic. 96% accuracy, you know, it would be very strong even for Magnus Carlsen. But this guy, he's obviously not Magnus Carlsen. This guy is just 2500 Elo player with 2400 Blitz official rating. Okay? 96% accuracy. I was very, very upset. And after this, the tournament basically finished for me. The only reason I played this line is because I wanted to win, and I went for this Breyer, which I didn't even study for last year. But he just plays main line, and he remembers everything. King h2, rook b8, and take and f4. Yeah, you have to, if you don't play Breyer with black. Breyer now is really bad opening choice. Okay, but the way he punishes me is just exemplary. Okay, it's like fucking engine way of playing chess. I was very pissed off. I actually reported this guy. Because he plays basically the whole game first line moves. First line, first line, first line. Queen c2 the threats. And you can resign, okay? The threat is 97, queen h7. Perfect chess from this guy. So after this loss, I was at 50%, and there were only 2 more rounds to go. I need to win 2 games to get into the qualifiers, yeah? I have my chance in this game, but I play against this guy, and I know this guy. He's been commentating in Bill, and he's also playing the same Count Sicilian as I do. The reason I played e4 because in the last game I played this Romanian guy who played at 92% accuracy and just got into a better position against me, yeah? And I'm like at the fucking loss. This 2500 guys, they play better than, you know, Wesley So and others. They played higher accuracy, they see absolutely everything, and it goes against every common sense that I have, okay? These 2500 players, they play much better than Wesley So and any other top grandmasters that I've seen. You saw Lazavic, right? Lazavic made mistakes. These guys, they don't make mistakes. All right? Now that is the feature of the online chess, okay? That is the feature of the online chess. You don't know who you're playing. All right, so we played the Sicilian Khan. Fortunately for me, you know, I've been playing on black side for a very long time. And he goes for this line, which is considered to be slightly better for white. Of course, I have to remember why. But rook e1 is not bad. And he plays queen b8, which is something I used to play against Naka, I think, in 2013 Singapore Cup. And I played this move a couple other times, but I was not satisfied with black position, and I thought black is a little bit worse. And the way I played this, and I played knight f6. But after this, white is just better, okay? Because of the structure. But it's probably playable. Oh, also bishop f4, yeah. No knight yet. Bishop d6 first. And then knight f6, yeah. Right. But black is worse. But this guy takes on a4 and plays this. Standard idea. Pretty standard. Probably, you know, h3 is logical, but then he goes and controls the squares, so I play queen h5. I thought it was principal move. Queen h4, playing for e5, potentially threatening checks if he castles. You know, he has weak pawn here, but he has developed, and he now plays this move, which is okay. And I make a mistake. I play this. I should have played e5, of course, and queen g4. And after this, white is a little bit better, because if he plays g6, now you can play this and stop this whole thing here. If he takes on a4, takes here. Yeah, but this is very sharp, because you have to sacrifice stuff. Your pawn structure is not that great. In a blitz game, there's a big chance black king might survive. You know, he plays bishop f8, and you have to find some ways. If black survives, white gets some weaknesses, you know, you can lose this game. In a blitz game, this is very tough to play. Yeah, so I want to play safe. I played this, and now he plays h5. I return my knight, and not a good move, because after bishop c5, black is suddenly better. Yeah, because of this knight g4. Okay, if I play bishop e3, he just takes and takes on b2. So I was thinking and what to do, and I play knight d1. I have to go defensive, neutralize his attack. I was very lucky he played this, because the queen on b7 is not that good, yeah? Queen has to stay on this diagonal, obviously. But he played this, and after bishop e3, I breathe a sigh of relief. And then he finds this perfect move, because if I play queen h4, he is just worse. I find bishop d4, protecting the pawn, threatening e5, and also the knight's coming here. He finds this, and again, I should have played e5, yeah. And then knight goes to d6. But I have this, I don't know, I have this, I don't know what it's called. This thing against playing moves like e5 and opening the bishops, yeah. Yeah, so I played knight e3, logical also. He plays d6, knight c4, bishop e5, and e5, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about g4 here, and I actually wanted to play this line, because I felt that, you know, the g file, this is now weak, and his king is weak. But after queen b5, it's very hard to win this, yeah. King f8, knight e8, very hard to win this. Yeah, so I saw this line. Instead, I went for this. I thought, oh yeah, let's see this. Bishop e5, bishop e5, bishop c4. Oh, I have this. Oh, so he can't play this, and then this. Then I'm winning. Yeah, okay, good. Right, so he took on c4, take on f6, and he finds the only move not to lose immediately, because if he takes on d3, you take this and it's a win, yeah? So he plays queen d5, I find the only move. He finds the only move, take. And we're down to seconds. Very complicated position. I had to play this, okay? But how can you play something like this and king f8, and then I had to see this move. I just give him the whole rook, but his king is wide open and it's mate, okay? Yeah, for some reason this rook e6 just... so I play this, rook e1, same idea, and this is bad move. See, in 2 moves my position went from much better to worse. Black is now better, because my queen is not playing, this bishop and pawns completely restricted my queen. His queen guards everything, my bishop is bad, black is better. Yeah, at this point I realized maybe I should just take this bishop, free my queen and play for a draw. He plays rook c8, avoiding some checks. Yeah, and I got very lucky he played this, because I immediately took and queen g7. Yeah, with seconds on the clock, yeah? And now he blunders, and white is completely winning, but he plays h3, and I panic again. I see this, but for some reason it doesn't register in my mind that after h4 my king is safe. It does not register in my mind, okay? In my mind it registers that I cannot take this pawn for some reason. I don't know. For some reason this pawn did not exist for me, and then it's mate or something. But after this it's obviously completely winning. g4, f7, just... and g and f pawns, they go together. f4, g5, okay? Easy win. So my brain shuts down. I see this move. Check, check, bishop d4, and he's okay, yeah? So I am +4. In one move it goes to 0, yeah? And yeah, if he plays queen d5 and then he takes this pawn, he's better. But he plays this move, and I'm like, it should be win, yeah? It should be win, but how do you win this? Again, 12 seconds, more than enough. 12 seconds, 2 seconds increments. I give him a check, he goes back, check, and a draw, okay? What I don't see is that I have this move with idea rook e7 check. It just doesn't register in my mind. And the idea is if he plays like this, then it's bishop b6, and it's a mate, okay? And if he plays with this rook, then there is no threat of rook h2. You can still play this. And I'm winning. No, but you see this, yeah? This is second time against Lazavic. I had 20 seconds, but because I was playing with this 20 seconds for the last 20 moves, I panic. And I blunder something simple. And in this game, I do not see this win. Yeah, it's completely winning game. I do not see this win, and I let it a draw. Because, I don't know, something psychological. Also, you need to be playing chess on a consistent basis to feel the game. Yeah, I've been sick for a month since January. I haven't been playing chess a lot. I had to skip some title Tuesdays. Also, title Tuesdays, they don't prepare you for the rapids, okay? These are rapids. It's completely different game. In the end, in this mess, it is a blitz, yeah? But I don't know. So, draw, and after this draw, I had no chance of qualifying. The last game I played, I won. I was probably lost. But if I had won the previous game and I won the last game, I would qualify for something, yeah. But I made a draw in this winning position, and this is the last game, which didn't matter. So I played this, we played this normal thing. Okay, g6 is unusual. Don't play it, it's actually pretty bad. But I had nothing to lose, yeah. I was 50% before the last round. I knew that +1 will not be enough. And he probably knew it also. So we just played, shuffled pieces. He's trying to kill me, has much better position. Yeah, I'm trying to confuse him. Even this position better for whites. But now I have some chance. Yeah, because his bishop is here, he is playing c5, so queen a5, rook b1, 97. I'm fully on the defensive. He can just play knight c3, put this knight on b5, and white is much better, but he plays this. Puts rook here for some reason, and after knight c7, for the first time in this game, my knights finally allow the rooks to be connected, and I feel like, you know, I maybe have not a bad position anymore. Okay, he plays this, knight c5, my knight got into good position, rook fd8, queen f2, and 98 back first line. Why? Because my queen can now transfer from this godforsaken square somewhere human plays. And now this is equal, because I got everything I actually wanted, because his pawn's chain is disrupted. I have nice knight. White is fine. Okay, white is completely fine because this bishop is locked. I have some passive pieces, weaknesses I must protect, but I'm not worse anymore, yeah, because he cannot get to the targets. Everything is protected. So he plays like this. I try to improve my knight. Not a great idea, because it allows queen h4, bishop g5 idea. Very dangerous, don't allow that. He plays rook e1 for some reason, and then he really forces me to take here. Yeah. But the whole point is that after d5, black is just better. I have rook, 2 pawns, and finally the bishops are coming out. Okay. Especially with the knight on b3, black is better. Bishop d5. Yeah, apparently rook c8 and rook d5 is better, but I don't know, bishop d5 looks human. And queen b7, yeah. That's what I wanted, to get this bishop and queen out. And now, small advantage for black, but it's something. Yeah. Yeah, so rook d7, play slowly, but again, after the recent previous 8 rounds of play. Actually, I was very surprised that the play-in is only 9 rounds. Play-ins used to be, I think, 11 rounds, to be honest. 9 rounds is not enough. If you have, originally we had 700 people in the play-in, I think. Oh wait, that's Title Tuesday, right? No, 700 is in Title Tuesday. Yeah, in the play-in we had 200 people or something. And 9 rounds is not enough, for sure. Anyway, e5, and I'm thinking, push the pawns. Knight c3, bishop e6 is fine. Yeah, you give him this diagonal, but the bishop must protect the king. Yeah, bishop f3, then queen a7 and f5 anyway, yeah. So queen h4, g5. f5 is coming, so he plays this, and of course, yeah, I played this because I wanted to stop bishop c4, but after bishop c4 you can just play like this, and the pawns are rolling. It's completely winning position. Objectively, it's completely winning. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to keep the queens on board for some reason. I was very happy about this, but I missed. Yeah, it's still advantage of black. Yeah. Okay, I wanted to show you this. Rook d1. Looks like he pinned me. Yeah. I played this. Bishop b6. And if I take on f3, he takes here with the check. However, there is this move. Beautiful intermezzo. And now you take here. Because if he takes the rook, there is no check anymore. You take on g2 and you win. So he takes, queen f3, check, and he resigns because he loses the knight. So that was the last round game. Yeah, and I got +1, and considering, you know, I played a lot of people, very strong people, yeah. I played Wesley, I played Lazavic, and some other grandmasters, yeah. Yeah, they're all grandmasters, actually. They're all grandmasters, playing for the grandmasters, of course. But what sucks is that against the strong guys I played was black. And I couldn't win with white, with the lower rated guys, okay? Yeah, that's kind of suck. I would have preferred to have white against the higher rated players like Wesley and Lazavic. I would have preferred to have white. And then there was black against the lower rated guys. It would have made it more easy. But still. So against Lazavic I was winning. Against Wesley I was actually better. Right? This guy was better against me. Then okay, I lost to this guy, fine. He just crushed me completely in my Brer, and against this guy I was winning also, yeah. So technically I should have been at +2 or +3. But I finished +1, and let me show you, +1 is not enough. It's not enough. So 5 points is what I ended up with. We have a share from 64 to 83. And only 69 people qualified. So 64 to 69, those guys who had best tie breaks, they qualified. But you know, to be honest, I don't like the system of using tie breaks for qualifying because, you know, it's just all these guys who lost these games, they just stop playing. And they bring your tie break like way down, okay? It's just, so much depends on luck, who you playing, who you played, and I don't think it's very fair, you know? I think that they should have been, especially, it's a big deal if you get into the division or not. They should have been qualifiers. They should have been, not the qualifiers, but they should have been playoffs, okay? They should have made more space for the playoffs. You can find space, you know? It's super fucking important to me. It's a huge difference if you get into the Division 3 or you don't get into Division 3 because of fucking tie break, because somebody just withdrew from the tournament, you know? We had 64 to 83. That's 19 people, okay? 19 people. They could have made an extra playoff tournament. It would have been actually a pretty good idea. Because you have 5 spots and 19 people qualify, 19 people tie for these 5 spots. All right. Yeah, the hedgehog, well, there is a reason why, you know, a lot of openings which were very popular in the 80s and 90s, like hedgehog, King's Indian, they're not played much in the modern chess because the computer, it just crushes these pawn structures, okay? Yeah, it's just very hard to play these positions anymore. In the 80s and 90s, when the engine and the accuracy level was not that high, you could play it, but not anymore, because these structures are analyzed too far, too deeply, to the end, pretty much. All right, gentlemen. So this was my playing experience from yesterday. I was very upset, of course. I still think that game against Lazarevic was the key game, because after missing that win, my emotional state was stability was lost. Yeah. With each game, I was remembering this missed moment, and considering how after that I lost 2 blacks, one to Wesley and one to the Skid, and I got to 50%, even though I started with +2, could have been +3, and then I went down to 50%. Yeah, you can imagine. Yeah, I was not in a good state. Players who withdraw early should be banned. Yeah, but if you force people to play in the tournament even though they know they have nothing to play for, yeah, you're like punishing them, right? No, I don't think it's correct to force people, but I think the tie breaks should be different, and it should be actually playoffs for the because 5 spots is a lot of spots, you know, and there are only 19 people. Only 19 people for 5 spots. That is, I don't think that's fair to use these tie breaks, you know, to make a decision. I think because it's a fucking difference if you qualify to the division. In Division 3, the first prize, by the way, where's the information? All right, let's go down to this. Here. See, if you qualify to Division 3, if you get to the 5th half of the tournament, yeah, it's $3,500. That's a lot of money. Also, those people who were playing today in placement matches for Division 3, but who didn't qualify, who got knocked out, they get $500, okay? So these 5 guys who got in by tie breaks, they pretty much guaranteed themselves $500 because they have better tie breaks, because some of their opponents stayed in the tournament. Okay? I find it completely unfair. I find it very unfair. Anyway. All right, so let's do the puzzle rush, and then I am done with this recap. Hope you enjoyed the recap. Let's do the puzzle rush. Let's do the 3-minute one. All right, let's try to make it fast. Wait, what? 6. Check. Seven. 4. What am I missing? Knight c3. Check. All right, 43. Well. I mean, I know people do like 50 something in 3 minutes, but you know, this is as fast as I can do, okay? This is probably the fastest I can do. Also, what is this in the end? What is this? I think it's knight h5 probably, yeah? Oh, I don't know if I can make it. I think it's knight h5 here, take, and then check. King h8, queen h4, king h7, and probably bishop e3 and take on h6, yeah? And if after knight h5 he plays bishop g5, then it's queen g6 and queen g7 mate. Yeah, I think that's probably it. But you need time to calculate this. All right, gentlemen. Again, thank you for coming. We can quickly take the results today. So we have set divisions, right? In Division 1, we have Legrave playing Lazavic, Jan playing Martinez, who won the tournament. Magnus playing Wesley. Wesley has been doing pretty well. And Fedosiev playing Alriza. Alright, in Division 2, we have more people. Some famous dudes. Anish playing Jeffrey, interesting. Keimer versus Svidler. Svidler has been doing good. Shimanov versus Sahayan. Mamedov versus Benjamin Bok. Benjamin qualified, very nice. Artemiev got knocked out of Division 1. He plays this guy. Naka got knocked out by Lazavic, but he plays Yu Yang Yu. And Sam Sivian plays this guy. Anton plays Aronian. Cool. And in Division 3, okay, we have massive amount of players. Sarana, Dreyev, nice to see these guys. Ponomaryov is playing. Laurent is playing. Bortnik. I don't know if many of you remember Malachov. This guy was pretty good in his time. Then we have the Battle of the Youngsters, Shevchenko versus Santos Latasa. Bogdan is playing again. And we have this amazing battle of Grishuk versus Dubov. Oh, this is going to be fun. But this is not the battle for Division 3. This should be a battle for Division 2. Yeah. Well, the good thing is that the winner of each division, he qualifies to the higher division in the next tournament automatically. So that's another incentive to try to play your best and get into the highest highest division possible. How did pairing work? How did Magnus Carlsen, who is rated number 1, end up playing So, who is rated number 2? That is a pretty good question, but what I remember is that they did yesterday, immediately after the tournament. There is this system where the people who are placed top 4 in the play-in tournament, they pick their opponents, okay? Wait, but today they played placement matches. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, the number 1 guy should not be playing number 2 guy. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't understand this. I don't think this should be happening, but okay. Yeah, this should be. It should be actually. They should be like in the different brackets, and they should play in the final. Although we do have Vasily Graf playing in the upper bracket, yeah. But this is very unusual first match. Very unusual. It should have been like Magnus versus Fedosеев or Wesley versus Alireza. Yeah, this bracket is like way stronger, yeah, because Magnus has to pass Wesley, and Alireza beating Fedosеев is not a certain, by the way. It's not a given. Fedosеев is very, very strong, especially in these formats. But if Alireza does beat Fedosеев, yeah, Magnus bracket looks very, very strong. But for this time format, Lazavic, this is like his preferable. Yeah, this tournament is like Lazavic's best format. Okay, he does his absolutely best in this type of events. Le Graf is very tough customer. Yeah, so Lazavic, Nepo, Le Graf, and Jose Martinez. Yeah, Martinez looks the only one who is out of place in this event. He looks like he belongs in bracket 2, but he won the play-in, and then who did he beat in the placement? Oh, because he won the play-in, he didn't play the placement matches. The first match he didn't play. He had to play the second match though, and he beat this Armenian guy. Yeah, he made 3 draws and beat him in the second game. And that's how he qualified for Division 1. Yeah, this was incredible, actually. Yeah, this was incredible. Wesley eliminated Sam Sivian, by the way. Very impressive games by Wesley. Yeah, Wesley prepared for this tournament like for the World Chess Championship level. Yeah, Wesley playing at the World Chess Championship level in this tournament. So let's hope his form continues. And tomorrow they start playing. So, gentlemen, do you want me to commentate this event? Which division is Gata? I did not qualify. That was the whole point of today's recap. Otherwise, you won't see this recap. I did not qualify with my +1. I was very upset that there was no playoffs because 5 people from my point group, they qualified by better tiebreaks to the placement matches today, and the rest of us, we just didn't. We got knocked out because of the bad tiebreaks, because somebody went home and brings down your tiebreaks. I was very upset about that too. All right, so guys, do you want me to do the recap tomorrow for this? It's gonna be fun, right? It's gonna be fun. Or I can do the recaps maybe after tomorrow, because they play Division 1, right? What is the schedule? So today was the wait, what? Oh yeah, February 2nd. Winners quarterfinals. Okay, but yeah, I probably okay. I'll try to do the recaps after each match, because tomorrow all these matches will happen and that's it. After tomorrow, we're gonna have these matches, yeah? It makes no sense to cover 2 matches in one day. Okay, so tomorrow I'll do the recaps for these guys. And after tomorrow, recaps for these guys. And then after tomorrow, we're gonna do the final recap. Okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm not gonna do live commentary because it's too taxing. I'm still a little bit sick and kind of low on energy still. Can you open this link and read the left column? What? No one has a better score against Carlsen than Volakitin. But last time Volakitin played Magnus was like way back, yeah? Was way back. So I won't say that, like, I know Volakitin. He's been my friend and my second in my candidate years. But they played, Magnus played Volakitin like decades ago. He hadn't played him recently. If they played recently, I think Andrei has no chance. But again, against Magnus, nobody has a lot of chances, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, but this is pretty normal. Yeah, I agree. A beats B, B beats C, and C beats A. That's pretty normal in chess. Alright. Hey, watch Aman Hambleton video how to behave like a grandmaster? Nope. Nope. I like Chessable people, but again, there are so many opinions on how people can behave, and chess players in their special category and so on. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow after the matches. I'll do the recap. Thank you for coming. Good night.